Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jordan here with another Warhammer Total War BattleCast. So again, this is going to be another entry in the live series of games. So hopefully it's nice and entertaining for you guys. So in this game, I'm thinking I'm going to play the Vampire Counts. I've just been having so much fun with the Strigoi Ghoul King. When you put him on that Terrorgeist, he's just such a force to be reckoned with. And not to say he's not already, but he has armor piercing, he has anti-large, just so awesome. So and he also has poison attacks as well. They just ran out of tooltip space. So if you guys see here, he does have the poison, making him quite a formidable duelist. So as far as this, get rid of these abilities. I really just keep Spirit Leech, Invocation of Nehek, as well as Gaze of Nagash and Command of the Unliving. It's so valuable to be able to summon Crypt Horrors or Crypt Ghouls in the middle of like archers or behind his front line, and really take advantage of the poison that they apply as well. Let's go ahead and get a White King. I like to have him in the front line. He's good to just mix him with Graveguard and your other fodder units because he does encourage them, and he's also a very powerful combatant himself. So I'm playing against Bretonnia. It looks like Iron 610 here. So let's go ahead and just get shielded skeletons. They're going to be a pretty good front line. Again, they can absorb the fire from the peasant bowmen and that type of thing. So we will just go with that. And against Bretonnia, it's really, really important to win the cavalry battle. So I'm going to go ahead and get 2 Blood Knights as well as the Dire Pack. And of the new renowned units, the regiments, I really like the Dire Pack. It's personally my favorite. Anti-large, it's so fast. It has 95 speed. So when you do rout an enemy cavalry unit, the Dire Pack can then chase it off the battlefield. It's not going to come back if you keep the Dire Pack on it. So very big fan of that. I like the Mortis Engine. I like that sustainability it provides. I think it's a solid choice. And as far as infantry, you don't need much against Bretonnia, to be honest. I mean, the White King and this mishmash group here can usually do their job. So just get 2 Graveguard here. They'll be able to hopefully hold their own there and absorb whatever missile fire they send my way. So something to consider is it is Bretonnia, so we are going to take the Strigoi Ghoul King off his mount, which is going to save us a pretty penny there. So let's see, what do we want to invest in here at the end? You can go fisticuffs with Bretonnia if you want. Let's just get 1 Crypt Horror. Do I need that? Not really. Man, it's a tough choice here. Could get some bats just to be annoying. I feel like that's a bad investment. Oh man, choices, guys. What do we want to get? So we got these guys. We got the regeneration effect here. 800, huh? It's just so tempting to just spend it on that Crypt Horror just to make it fit perfectly. Well, let's go ahead and get these. All right, guys, let's have some fun. Let's get some bats. Pump some chevrons. I probably should have. Can we get them in these guys? Oh, damn, I missed the cutoff there. 80 unspent resources, guys. It's going to cost me this game. So let's see how this goes. I haven't actually had a chance to play against Bretonnia yet as the Vampire Counts, so it should be interesting. And to be honest, I don't know if the Strigoi Ghoul King is the best choice against Bretonnia, but he's pretty good at, as a duelist hero. He does apply poison, he has armor piercing, and he also has really powerful spells from Lore of Death and the Lore of Vampires. He essentially has the best spells. Invocation of Nehek and Gaze of Nagash, as well as Spirit Leech. So he kind of brings to the table that same platform that Manfred von Karstein brings, but at a far cheaper price. And of course, he's not as armored or anything like that. Kind of sad that I can't bring him as a flying unit because Bretonnia will just eat him out of the sky, usually. I've seen some Bretonnian strategies that are more infantry focused and that type of thing, but it's definitely not as good in my opinion. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Looks like we're just about to load in here, so we'll get into our deployment phase. So I did bring 2 bats. It's definitely a risky gambit against Bretonnia. So with Vamp Counts, you don't need to be too dynamic as far as your setup goes. You just get, infantry core, put your fodder in front, of course, because the AI will obviously target the first infantry that comes in range usually, and a lot of players are too lazy to switch. So sometimes you'll, have a missile unit just shooting at your fodder most of the game. So let's go ahead and put this guy in the center, and you can see that blue sphere appears. That's the radius of influence, so that is good here. And then the Mortis Engine here is going to be good as well. Then I got their leader here, so I'm going to go ahead and hotkey those, lock those together. So now they're going to move in tandem with one another. And since I'm playing against Bretonnia, let's go ahead and lock in the Strigoi King with that formation. Normally I keep him separate when he's flying, but different circumstances here. So the Dire Pack should go with these guys. Let's go ahead and tie them in. So I really need to win this cavalry battle. That's what decides this matchup, in my opinion. If you're playing metagame against Bretonnia, you're either going to have to weather the storm with factions like the Dwarves and deal with it, or there's a lot of factions where it ultimately comes down to the cavalry battle. Because if Bretonnia wins, then they can just perpetually harass you throughout the game. So he'll more likely than not deploy on this high ground over here. So let's go ahead and switch these guys up here, put my main infantry force in the middle, so I have less distance I have to travel there. And the bats, of course, let's put 1 on 3 and then 1 on 4, so I can easily micro them separately, because if they're in the same grouping, it can sometimes be tricky. So that's my layout, guys. We'll see how it goes. All right, so dead center, I like it. This guy wants to get right down to fisticuffs, so let's go ahead, send them in. Let's send this. We'll send the group 3 bats around the far flank and this group of bats down there. So looks like he has Knights of the Realm, which should be interesting. They're a pretty strong unit, but they are anti-infantry. They're not going to be able to hang with Blood Knights. So then, of course, he has his nasty Air Force. They all pretty much always bring Pegasus Knights and that type of thing, so we'll see how it goes. So then, hopefully I can like fly these bats over here and he'll chase them with his Pegasus Knights. That's the dream. So let's go ahead and bring these guys around the wings here. It looks like he's bringing the Pegasus Knights, so send the bats over there. Looks like the main line is advancing quite well. No complaints there, so this is exactly what you want. See how he's like kind of posturing out there? Let's go ahead and engage here. Oh, he's targeting the Mortis Engine. All right, let's pull that back. Remember, if you see people targeting, because then sometimes he might not repath his archers there, and that would be great for me. So the next target's probably going to be the Strigoi Ghoul King, but we'll see how that goes. All right, let's bring this back here. Got my cavalry ready in the wings here. So let's go ahead and bring these guys over here. See how this goes. Now repath the Mortis Engine back up front. Let's summon some of these guys back there. That's perfect. And then send the bats into the cavalry, and then I will follow up with mine. So I'm going to send these guys into the bowman back here. Make sure he's engaged here. And the front line's looking pretty good so far, guys. I can't complain. So I got these Crypt Ghouls in the back here. I'm going to engage here with those, because the bats will tie them up. So then you just follow up, and it's going to be a nice engagement. So he's just going to try and snipe the Strigoi Ghoul King here. So I'm going to use Invocation of Nehek on him. I didn't want to overcast it, so I'm just going to kind of run him over towards this battle. Keep this cart here, so that's looking good. I got my bats here, got the Crypt Ghouls there, and I'm just going to kind of marathon run this Strigoi Ghoul King here. So as far as the cavalry match goes, you guys see that engaging with those bats was essential, because then I just got this optimal engagement here. And it looks like he's going to get a nice flank here, but there's not much I can do about it, you know. In war, it's often a give and take type situation, so you kind of just have to work with what you got. But I did win this very, very important battle over here. You can see most of his troops are routing off, and life's pretty good for me on that end. And my front line, it's going pretty well. Summoning those Crypt Ghouls in the center was really solid, and you can see it's just like tangled up Knights of the Realm, and pretty much just doing great work for me. So this was quite good. Let's go ahead and engage these Grail Knights here. I don't want to just waste my time on that Paladin there. And he's cycle charging me here, but it's really not, that bad. And the bats go, and you guys can see those bats tie up that initial engagement. The Strigoi Ghoul Kings here, I'm probably going to use an upgraded Invocation of Nehek here, just to top off this group. That's going to be pretty solid, because that's a big investment of mine. And he's doing a pretty good job in the backline cycle charging, and but his Pegasus Knights are having trouble finding a home at the end of the day. And once I'm able to kind of clean this up, let's go ahead and send the Dire Pack over here. Actually, you see these cavalry over here, guys? That's a great choice, because those guys will come back and cause havoc. So things are going pretty well here. It looks like some of his centerline troops are beginning to rout off. I have my White King here, he's occupying their efforts there. Let's go ahead and start to, I feel like I've won this periphery battle. So I'm going to go ahead and start, pulling in and just punishing his back line, really, because, I've earned my dues here. So let's go ahead and get this Strigoi Ghoul King. He can get back there. Leave these Blood Knights here and leave this other group. Well, it's kind of tricky when they get tied up with one another. So things are good here. Let's go ahead and you want to start, against Bretonnia, you want to start pushing through their lines, because they're one of those factions that, looks like he did a good job. Got my engine there finally. They'll keep coming back, so you really have to pressure them and make sure that they're not going to be gaining that perpetual value there. And it looks like I should probably use my Strigoi Ghoul King on his lord. Let's go ahead and put a Spirit Leech on him, and you guys can see my cavalry are just routing down this back line here. And also, let's get this group of Blood Knights and get his Paladin here, because he does have the anti-large bonus, so that's going to be quite good. Looks like my Crypt Lord here, or not Crypt Lord, my White King. Just a vastly different name there. So let's get this Strigoi Ghoul King. You don't want him to be isolated, and it looks like they've done a pretty good job here, so it's time to just collapse his line here. Just put the finishing blow on him. The Strigoi Ghoul King will get in here. He's going to do good. I should probably use a Gaze of Nagash here, but I kind of want to save my resources for another upgraded Invocation of Nehek. So let's go ahead and do that, because I have a lot of low troops here, so that's going to be some huge value. You can see this paladin is wavering. Let's go ahead and switch my focus to the Lord here. Use this armor-piercing ability. The Strigoi Ghoul King has the Bloodlust, which gives armor-piercing damage, which is good against the Bretonnian leadership. So you can see this Lord is going to start taking an absolute beating. So let's go ahead and Spirit Leech him. And see what I'm saying about Bretonnia? They have all those troops that, will come back from route. Let's go ahead and send the White King over there, and he'll be able to deal with that. So right now, the Strigoi Ghoul King is doing a great job. He's poisoned this guy, and I'm going to cast a Gaze of Nagash too. He's right in front of me. Might as well take advantage of that. Got my Blood Knights here. Got them engaged here with the anti-large bonus. So that is good, and you can see his Lord is now shaken. I wish I had some bats to to deal with that. So I'm just going to ignore this Paladin and go ride down, the remainder of his troops here. I think that's going to be a little more cost-effective than what's currently happening. Because, again, they're gonna generate some decent value, but it looks like he's able to tie me up here. So that's good on my opponent's part. Let's go ahead and use an Invocation and Heck here to buff that group here. This is a very pitched battle, actually. It's close. I've lost quite a bit. So I do have this White King back here, generating some good results. I was able to clean up those cavalry, so let's go deal with these archers, because I don't want them whittling me down in the late game. Right here, I have the White King. Unfortunately, he's kind of tied up there, and looks like this Paladin is just kind of trolling me, so let's go ahead and start punishing him. Let's buff these guys with some armor piercing. Let's get some regeneration going on. Looks like it's very, very tight. Wow. All right, so this group is now getting tied up with spearmen, so I need to get them out. I should have gotten them out much earlier. That was a mistake on my part, but let's just go ahead and leave these guys here. And these cavalry, I need to be taking advantage of their mobility. So also, you see what I'm saying, guys? These peasants the damage they do can really, really add up. Let's go ahead and cycle through and finish them, and let's send these guys over here to finish them. You can see I still have a fair amount of Graveguard who are hopefully going to be able to clean up his infantry. So these guys are now going down. The Strigoi Ghoul King is in great health, which is good, because he is a very strong duelist, so if it does come down to lordship battles, I'm going to be able to clean up my opponent quite well. So these peasants are pretty much, they're broken, so they're probably not going to come back. So now, with Bretonnia, a lot of times in these battles, it comes down to these elite units being left, and probably not going to get much Winds of Magic left, but you can see that massive charge bonus on the Blood Knights is able to get in and do pretty good damage here. So you can see here my Graveguard are going. So yeah, this is just going to be a fisticuffs battle here. Man, what a close one. Good game. And right here, I get a nice little surround here. It looks like on this Paladin, and hopefully I can finish him off here. But he still has some Knights of the Realm. He has some Griffins here. He's got a lot of low units. That's what I have going for me, and I'm telling you, Bretonnia is just always coming back. So probably to deal with these peasants and whatnot, they're all wavering. So if I get one decent, engagement with the White King, who does cause pretty much all these heroic units do have some fear-causing properties. So these Paladin, I want to make sure he doesn't come back. So I'm just going to go ahead and chase him off and kind of regroup my forces here. So unfortunately, I don't have a potion, but the Strigoi Ghoul King, his Winds of Magic reserves are depleted. So can't really expect any additional help there. And you can see he's applying poison to this Paladin and doing a good job. But that's a healthy Paladin. If that was able to regroup with his main force, I would be in some trouble. So it looks like these peasant bowmen here are, well, they're wavering. So let's go ahead and chase those guys down. We'll send the White King to stay on this Paladin, make sure he goes off the battlefield. I got to make sure the Strigoi Ghoul King... Oh, looks like his Lord just died. How did that even happen? He just croaked. Oh, man, that's interesting. I do not know how that happened. So this is going to be easy now. You can see a lot of his troops are shattered and broken, and just got to make sure these heroic units don't come back. Let's get the Ghoul King over here. Yeah, he's in some trouble here, but I don't know. I could actually lose this. Is these guys shattered yet? Yeah, they're shattered, and you always want to double check. If they're shattered, don't chase them, guys. That means they're not coming back. But this Paladin, he's just broken. So if I stop chasing him for like a split second, he could easily come back. Man, what a close battle. Hopefully this is a treat for you guys. I was a little sloppy earlier and micromanaging those Blood Knights in that battle. I let them sit there for too long. I should have been cycle charging. Let's go ahead and use that. The Arcane Conduit. I don't know if that'll even give me any wins back. And the Paladin's gone. Good, good. That was a healthy Paladin. So right now, what I'm going to do is just send in my White King right into his front line, and that's going to cause some serious morale hits. Something to be concerned about is these Pegasus Knights. Oh, it looks like they're still poisoned? No, oh, okay, that was the Strigoi King's tooltip. I thought I saw a poison animation there, so let's go ahead and pull those guys up. Ghoul King's ready. He's pimping up on the hill here. I'll give you guys some cinematic views here. He's getting down there ready to give some business. So you see my opponent's just waiting to snipe. So he has some Knights of the Realm. It looks like he has a Damsel who's clearly out of magic here. All right, just waiting for my White King. Sorry for the long draw, but hopefully it'll be a nice climactic finish. as far as my leadership goes, I'm pretty good. You know, I have 2 really healthy heroic units, which is definitely rough for my opponent. So let's go ahead, and these guys they're shaken. As soon as that White King gets in there, they're going to probably rout. Then I'm just going to use my Blood Knights to take out his cavalry. But he's going to get the jump on me most likely with that, with the what's it called, the Pegasus Knights. Not much you can do about that. So let's go ahead and run off this way. I think I'm faster than them. So let's go ahead and send this guy in here. Let's give him the bonus. And let's go ahead and charge here. Get the Strigoi Ghoul King in there as well. I want him to just like focus his... Okay, so the Pegasus Knights. Looks like he got a nice little jump there. Not much I can do about that. So I'm just going to have to clear these units here. And these Blood Knights are putting up a pretty good fight. It looks like they did some serious damage to these Pegasi. And the Knights of the Realm are wavering. And his force here has pretty much been crumbled. So let's go ahead and kill this damsel. Yeah, I was having trouble clicking. I know it's always easier to click on the banners from time to time, guys. But you see, she's poisoned, and he only has the flying units now, so at that point, they all routed off, so. Darn, what a game that was. That was a good one. Long, and it was a fierce cockfight. A lot of Bretonnian games turn out that way, and, you know, it's just the way of things. So as far as the breakdown, guys, my opponent did a good job. It was very back and forth, and the Skeletons did a good job, and look at all the kills they got. I mean, these are just absolute fodder units, and they actually racked up quite a few peasant kills, which isn't bad. And Graveguard did well, can't complain, but like I said, guys, against Bretonnia, you really, really have to have an impactful beginning against their cavalry forces. And you guys saw in my initial engagement, I used the Fellbats to tie down the cavalry, and then the Blood Knights were able to come in, and I just absolutely demolished his first cavalry unit there and got some great units against those Grail Knights. You guys see, they only got 27 kills. And the Dire Pack did okay. They kind of served the same purpose of, you know, they do have anti-large, so against cavalry, they'll do decent damage. But at the end of the day, they were pretty good. A really tough part, he did have a lot of heroic units in terms of paladins and those type of things. So it took a while to get those down, but it was definitely a good game. And hope you guys enjoyed it. Really good game to Iron 610. That was a great battle, very hard fought. And look forward to seeing you again on ladder. Have an excellent night, guys, and thanks again for tuning in. Take care.